it's time to demonstrate, the Integra, and Francesco is gonna help us again with the demo on the machine. He decided to start with a alu debond, so he placed the material over the table, turning the suction on, setting on the size of the crop marks, and loading the file. Now, the machine will be placed on the first crop marks, acquired as a position to start from, and automatically the machine will start detecting the second crop marks, the third one, and the fourth one in case we have 4 crop marks. Now, to make it simple, this job is divided in 2 parts, bottom and top, and we decided to do only the bottom part. Now, we start from a condition that Francesco has to mount, the tool that is supposed to do the process, which is the router. See how easy it is to feed, the router into the machine. Tool in, up to the end, suction in, tool in, connecting, the ROs into its position, locking the tool, and locking the suction. Very, very simple. Now Francesco will need to place, the suction flange underneath, which work as a protection and to improve, the suction of dust that the router will produce. Finally, it's going to mount, the safety protection in front of the cutting assembly, the head assembly. Now Francesco is ready to go. He has already chosen, the material, and the tool will go to the far right to measure the length of the cutter. Once, the software has determined the right length of the cutter, it's ready to start processing the job. Together with the material, Francesco has already determined the speed of the machine, both speed, linear, and the speed the machine will use to plunge into the material. Now it's only a matter to leave, the machine doing all the contour cut to the door signage. So it's done, the 4 job which we decided to do, and Francesco turned, the suction on, remove, one kind of job, clean the edges, and show to us. The second job of the demo of the Integra is a plexiglass sheet. As for the other one, we still need to use the router. So, simple, importing the file, moving towards, to the first crop marks, acquiring the position of the first, and let the machine does the rest with the second, third, and fourth one. It's important to underline that the job comes from a vector file created with Illustrator, but this could have been done with CorelDRAW or other, vector, software. Francesco has performed, the machine has performed as the first time, the tune length, measure, and now it's loading the file. The time it takes to load the file, it depends on the complexity of the job, so it might differ for a few seconds. Now the machine is doing the same job, it's milling the contour cut on the plexiglass, starting always from the farthest point to the origin to make, the entire process much more faster and more logical. So top right, which is the farthest point, moving towards the bottom left. And again, the time it takes, it depends on the complexity of the job and the number of the job you have placed on the material. Also, the speed of the machine is limited by the material. Not all of the material can benefit of the full speed of the machine. Because our goal is always to reach, the best, final result in terms of quality. So we're almost at the end of the performance, and as soon as the machine will finish, Francesco will repeat the same operation, releasing the suction and removing the material. As you can see, the suction has cleaned almost everything, and the table did not show any sign of dust. The third job we had planned to do with the router is a forex cut. So this is a 1 centimeter forex. Francesco is repeating, loading the file, selecting the diameter of the cutter to perform, as its best, setting, as you can see, a kind of tool for the internal process and the external process. And the machine will perform, the same operation. Crop marks first, to length to be ready to process, this small totem. As for the other one, we will not do all the job because we want to make it, this a bit, faster and do not bother people showing the entire process. And I have to repeat, that the speed of the machine follow the material. So we cannot expect to have, always the same performance if we want to achieve the best, quality of the product. Something we have not seen, and we will see later on, looking on the funnel that control, the suction. Francesco has also the ability, like for every Valiani machine, to open or close. See on the bottom right where you have that air tap. Depending if the size of the table of the material, Francesco can open more or less zone to implement or to have a better suction on the material and do not waste power on the entire table. Again, the job is done. Francesco is removing all the material and he's assembled, the small totem. The fourth job is being done on honeycomb cardboard. Francesco has changed, the slip sheet for a better suction, and he has placed, the material over the table. Suction on. In that case, we're not gonna read any crop marks. We're simply gonna perform, a cutting, a V cut, and a cut through. The machine will start doing the V cut on each point, each line they are supposed to be folded. This operation, because of the thickness of the material, which is over than 1 centimeter, and the strength of the material, require a reduce of speed. Then, finally, I will perform, the outside cut using the oscillating knife, which is a tool that has an oscillating knife that allows, to do a quality, an high quality result on any thickness, up to 2 centimeter. The job is being done. And Francesco will remove, the V cut to clean on the bottom and on the top. And now, once it's finished, it will start folding the POS, the point of, the point of sale display. As you can see, it was easier for the machine to cut rather than, assembling everything. Done, that part is done. It's gonna place, the locker behind, and our point of, sales is ready to go. That could be for a production or for a sample, as to be proved by your customer. The fifth job of the day is a packaging. Francesco's turning the vacuum on, suction on, loading the file, which is gonna be boxes made on a corrugated cardboard. In this case, it's a Flute E. So it's roughly about 1.8 centimeter thick. Now, we decided to show you how easy it is to change, completely the configuration of the machine. We started from the last job where we have, the V-cut tool and the oscillating knife. Now Francesco has removed, the first tool, and he's placing the creasing wheel, locking the creasing wheel in position, and he will repeat, the same operation with the oscillating knife. It's gonna remove, the oscillating knife, disconnect the ROs, and fit, the drag knife, which is more indicated for this kind of job. It can perform faster than the other one. It was a job that took him, less than a minute, and he has completely changed, the machine configuration. So not an impossible operation, not something that requires hours or, particular skill. Now, the machine has been faster than me, and he has already performed, the creasing on the material. And now it's time, to cut, the external. So in that case, with the drag knife, we can go full speed, because we don't have to follow the oscillation movement of the other tool. So at the end, the purpose of this job is to have, a sample of boxes, to have, confirmation of the good job we have done projecting the box, from scratch, and to get the approval of the customer. It's almost at the end. That's the last part. Francesco is releasing the suction, turning the pump off, removing the wastage, and now he starts to fold all the parts to get the box done. Tray is done, cover is done, closing and showing to us. Thanks again to Francesco for the very good job, and thanks to Integra that did most of the job.